Hey guys, this is Jill from Two Dogs Media. I wanted to do this video as an add-on to a post I'm doing about Gutenberg and how to get ready for it. You may or may not know Gutenberg is releasing with the next update of WordPress, which is WordPress 5.0, and they are expecting it to go out sometime in November. We're not sure of a specific date, but we're guesstimating mid-November, which we think is a horrible idea given it's right before the holidays, but that's a whole nother discussion. We are not fans of Gutenberg. We have struggled with it in the past and then put it aside for a while. And today I decided let me try and write just a basic post with Gutenberg so that I can give you guys some insight into directions, what Gutenberg looks like, and an overview of how we are recommending you handle it based on your specific needs. So let's get started. What I wanted to show you is just a basic of what the Gutenberg looks like. So this is the post that we wrote. Again, this is the first time I've worked in Gutenberg in a few months. The last time I did, it was very glitchy, having troubles with saving, blocks overlaying over each other, not being able to see things easily. It was just a multitude of issues, so we didn't put too much time into it. Today, I wrote this whole post in Gutenberg, so we are launching this post using the Gutenberg platform. And I just kind of want to run through so you can kind of see what it looks like if you haven't played with this yet. So in essence, it is kind of cool in how it creates different block areas, and you can really customize these areas. And for example, here, this was just an intro I wrote, added a new block area, gave it a paragraph text block choice. You can see you can edit the text right in here with all the traditional editor functionalities. This actually, you can change the block type to a different block. So if I wanted it to not be a paragraph anymore, I can turn it into a heading or a list or a quote. One of the other cool things is if you come over to this side, you'll see it says block. That allows you additional things that you can customize. So here we have text settings. You can see if I change it to medium, large, extra large, it changes it. You can do custom sizing, which is really kind of cool. How large that? We can do a drop cap, which is cool. Color settings, so you can actually assign it a background color, which I think is kind of neat. That was a nice little addition. And then you could do the text color. We'll make this that color for now. And advanced is where you can add an additional CSS class. So if you wanted to do additional customizations to this block unit, you can add a CSS class and then add that class to your style sheet with whatever custom styling you want to give to it. So that's kind of how a standard paragraph block works, which is most of what we used in this post. These three dots give you a few more options. So if you click on this, you'll see hide block options. It just hides the sidebar. So in case you need a more full width view. You've got duplicate, which is kind of cool. That means you could duplicate this block and put it somewhere else if it's something you want to show. Maybe it's a call to action. You want to have it in two different places on the post. It's kind of cool that you can duplicate it and then move it to wherever else you want it in the post. Insert before means you can insert a block before this or insert after. So we'll just put this here just so you can see it. You can see this is a new block area. Whenever you have a new block area, you'll see a little round thing showing that there is a block section there and that you should add something. So we'll go back to that in a second. Then you have edit as HTML, so we can change this from the WYSIWYG editor to an HTML editor, and then add to reusable blocks, which allows you to save this block and use it on other pages. It becomes part of your block structure, so to speak, where you have these blocks that you can use on any page or post. And reusable blocks, I believe, are going to show up in here. We have not tested this yet. This is all the blocks that are currently available, and this came default with Gutenberg. So you can see the most common ones are paragraph, heading, Twitter feed, shortcode, quote, inline elements, so you can put an image in there, common blocks, layout elements. Though eventually these were not working well. I didn't even bother using these today. The last time I tried it was horrible. But you could put a spacer, more. I mean, there's a lot of options, and eventually you'll be able to create your own blocks, which will be kind of cool as well. So for now, okay, so we added in another block here. So I'm going to say, let's put in, I can actually put a widget in here. So let's do latest comment widget. Okay, and then I'm going to click Update. So we'll just save this for now. I'm going to show you the live page as well once I am done going through this so you can kind of see things. So then I just added another block. This is a title. You can change all different things here. So overall, I mean, it's not a horrible experience. It's definitely gotten better. Here we actually added a Twitter feed. So let me just show you how that works. I'll add another one. So if you add Twitter, you just put your URL in here. So I had my Two Dogs Media. I did twitter.com/Two Dogs Media and then hit embed. So it gave me this really cool Twitter feed. There is a problem with it, which I'll show you in a minute, but I wanted you to see that this is in here. Okay, and then you go down, we have more blocks. This is actually a code block, which is cool because now I can easily add lines of code that you guys can copy and paste. So that's kind of cool instead of having to go into HTML. This is an image block, just center aligned, and you can see on the right you have all these images, all these different options. So overall, I mean, it is kind of cool. To me, there's nothing in here that we couldn't have done with just a regular WYSIWYG editor. So I'm anxious to see what else they come up with that really makes this, something that's really needed. So that's a basic overview. The page itself, when you get to the editor, this document area is where all of your standard stuff is. Whatever's in your classic editor right now is what is showing up in here. So you have your categories, and it's kind of nice that you can collapse these. It does, it does keep it a little bit cleaner. Your featured image. So this stuff is all in here. Your update button, your preview button. Then this is kind of cool where it'll show you how many words you have, how many headings, how many paragraphs. So this post with 1,200 words took 60 different blocks. Everything goes into a new block. I think that's kind of annoying. So all of these are in different, every time I hit return, it goes to a different block. There might be a setting where you can change that. Not, like I said, this is just an intro. I have not really delved into this too much. So that's how the functionality works. So I'm going to click update. Now, if you remember, I added the tweets. So I wanted to embed some of my latest tweets as an example. And then we have this block up here, and then we have latest comments. So all of these, in a perfect world, should show up on the live post. Now this is the post as it is on my website, which is live. And I'm going to refresh the page. Okay, so you can see this came out cool. Big, bold, it's got the background. I changed the text to black, so that's kind of cool. You do see the most recent comments, which that's kind of cool. I do kind of like that functionality. This is all just regular text. I use a table of contents just to make life easy, so you can see all the table of contents in here. This is actually a separate plugin. This has nothing to do with Gutenberg. Now the rest of this is all done with Gutenberg. This is all Gutenberg. This is all Gutenberg. Now here's the interesting part, the tweets by Two Dog Media. Remember I wanted to embed my tweets? It doesn't work. So I'm wondering how many more of those blocks don't work yet. So you have to be careful with the blocks that you're using. If you decide to use Gutenberg, just make sure that they are working before you decide to, promote your post out to the world. But everything else worked pretty well. So what the post is going to focus on, I'll go back and clean this post up, but they're releasing this right before Thanksgiving and the biggest shopping days of the year. So if you do have an e-commerce website, I strongly recommend that you do not activate Gutenberg until you are 100% sure that your site is not going to have issues with it. So I would say if you have an e-commerce site on WordPress, wait until January. Don't even do the update. Wait for the core update until January. Or if you decide you don't want to wait to do the update, make sure you deactivate Gutenberg. Okay, there's a couple different ways you can do that. There's something called the Gutenberg ramp plugin. That is what we are using. So to show you what we've done, you can see we have the Gutenberg ramp plugin. So it's called Gutenberg ramp. Okay, and you install it, and all you have to do, I know some people are going to be scared to do this. We only wanted to activate Gutenberg on that one page that we did the post on. So Gutenberg ramp will automatically remove Gutenberg from all your other pages. So for example, if I go to a different post, I just want to show you, let's do your Google Analytics bounce rate is probably wrong. When I go into this page, it'll just be my classic editor. Okay, so there is no Gutenberg available on this page. That's what that plugin does. To make it available for that one page only, all I did, once that plugin is installed, all you have to do is add a line of code at the bottom of your function file, and that would be this one. So I told Gutenberg, ramp load Gutenberg on post ID 13445. That is the only post that Gutenberg is activated on. This is all code that we were testing to see if we can make an ACF Pro block, advanced custom fields. We were playing around to see if we can register a block, but that is not working yet. So that's kind of one of our frustrating things. So that is all you need to do. So now we have Gutenberg completely deactivated except for one post. So this was the option we went with, and this is what we are going to install for all of our clients to make sure that by default, when WordPress 5.0 comes out, Gutenberg will not be activated on their website. So all of our clients will have this loaded. The other option, and I gave you a whole thing about how to make all this work. Another one is the Classic Editor plugin. So you can use that one as well. And then there's also Disable Gutenberg plugin. This one might be a little bit easier if you don't want to mess with your functions file, but that is another option. So short and sweet and to the point, our recommendations, if you are on WooCommerce or any other shopping cart for WordPress, make sure you disable Gutenberg before it even updates. So install one of these plugins, make sure it's activated, and make sure Gutenberg is not installed. Two, if you want to play with Gutenberg, and we do recommend that you do, only because we do think at some point, it may be something a lot of website owners may want to use to make their pages a little more flexible. I do see some cool things coming down the road, and there is still a lot of work to be done, and it may be something you might want to use in the future. I do recommend utilizing some of these plugins to set your site to default to the classic editor, but allow you the option to choose a page or a post that you can practice on. So those would be my suggestions. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I hope this was somewhat helpful, and have a great day.